best forking friends. Friends till the end. We're at it again. We can play pretend. We've got a lot to say. What are we gonna talk about today? Best forking friends till the end, till the end. Best forking friends, friends till the end. Best forking friends.
Welcome to the Best Forking Friends podcast, Christmas edition. I'm your host, Joel, and with me today we have Adam.
Hey, come over here underneath this mistletoe with me, you guys.
And with us also we have Jason.
What up?
And finally we've got Kyle.
There's really no mistletoe here. Don't worry.
That's what you think. All right, guys, welcome back. It's been a minute since we've podcasted. What's everybody been up to? Anybody got anything that's been going on? I got a 3D printer. I've been 3D printing stuff. You guys ever get anything 3D printed?
Yeah, actually, I have. I just recently got something 3D printed.
Yeah. What did you get 3D printed?
It is some bling, per se.
Like a necklace?
Yes.
What kind of necklace?
Well, you know, I could describe it to you, or maybe you guys could just tune in sometime when I'm streaming, and you could see it for yourself.
Oh, that's new. You're
Yes,
streaming now.
I'm streaming, yes.
On what?
I'm on Twitch right now, just
Yeah.
on Twitch.
Yeah.
Hoping one day.
Not
to-
OnlyFans?
Well, I wasn't going to bring that up because that's how I pay my bills, but not yet. But yeah, no, I'm on Twitch right now. We're just doing Red Dead, but I think we're going to start streaming all kinds of different
What
stuff.
kind of other games you wanted to play?
I think we're going to do GTA. We're going to do some football, some basketball,
Yeah.
whatever.
You pretty good at those games?
I'd like to say I'm all right.
Decent.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I'm formidable.
Yeah, formidable. I like that. That word should be used more often.
It
Don't
should.
you agree?
Yeah, I do.
Formidable. All right. Well, what about Adam or Kyle? What's new with you guys?
Gosh, not much. I
Not too
just
much.
Do the same old thing most times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Adam.
I just been sleeping a lot. I try to get up every day.
You try to, huh? Well, it
Yeah.
worked today because you're awake at least.
I like Dreamland. Also, I'm the old guy in the room. I'll admit that.
Yeah?
I don't really understand 3D printing.
You don't understand it?
No, is this a topic for like another episode, or can you give me like the 30-second overview of what's going on here? Because I see things like people 3D print like houses and stuff, right?
Well, it's a different type of, I guess you could call it 3D printing. Just like if you think about printing in the sense of something we've been used to for the past 20, 30 years with a computer, there's color printers, there's black and white printers, there's laser printers. So there's different kinds of printers in that, we'll call it a 2D aspect. Now, a 3D printer in the sense of what like I have, like a recreational one that I use at home, you have a plate, and then the plate's where everything gets printed on. And then it moves either, most of them print going upward, some go downward. And there's this print head, and just imagine okay. You've ever made a cake? You ever took frosting and you put it into that thing and you squeeze it, and you can put the icing wherever you want. Well, that's essentially what a 3D printer is doing, is it's melting down plastic and printing in the direction that it wants, and it just
Interesting.
builds it up, and it just does tons of tiny little lines back and forth, round and round, and it usually depends on what you're printing, but a lot of prints take anywhere from a few minutes to several hours.
You've given me a better explanation than anyone I've ever asked, and just that I kind of understand what you're
The
talking
frosting thing, that's a really great way to explain it,
Yep.
because that is that was 3D printing before 3D printing was a thing.
Yeah, that's hand 3D printing.
That's hand 3D printing right there. All right. No, that's a good question.
Yep.
I've had a lot of fun with it lately, and printing a lot of stuff for myself, and hopefully gonna add some more stuff for my tabletop, like vendor show type stuff. But yeah. So if you guys ever need anything 3D printed, I could probably help you out a little bit.
Sweet.
That's
Good to
interesting.
know.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get to it. This is the Christmas episode. Branson mandated that we did a Christmas episode against our will. No, I'm kidding. I'm excited because Christmas is happening this week, and or I guess what is it? 4 days. All right. Well, we're going to get to our first question of the night, and we're going to have two questions that have to do with Christmas movies. But the first question, and this is a tried and true debate in the holiday season, is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Now, I actually have to admit I've only seen Die Hard once, and it was like last year. And I realize a lot of people always like to poke fun of me for my lack of seeing certain movies. And I really enjoyed it, considering how old it is.
We should have a podcast on which movies you haven't seen,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
a
we can all
lot.
just
There's a
talk
lot of
about
content about it.
how criminal it is that you haven't seen.
We
I've
can
seen a
enlighten
lot.
them, enlighten them and let them know.
Well, anyway, so we've got Die Hard, right? It's John McClane, and he's a cop, I think, and
Yeah.
he's visiting his wife at her new job, and is it in New York or Chicago?
I
It's in
think it's
LA.
in
It's in
Los
LA.
Angeles, Los
It's in
Angeles.
Nakiyomi Plaza or something, right? And they're having their Christmas party, and then all of a sudden it gets hijacked by terrorists, and Alan Rickman is the bad guy. Him and his henchmen are trying to, I don't know, take over. I don't remember exactly the plot. Somebody help me out with. I'm trying to remember from last year what I.
Shoot, it's been so long since I've watched it.
Yeah.
I couldn't help you with the plot.
Yeah.
I just
don't-
remember two as a cop, and I think he ends up having a buddy with him too or something. But
Okay, so the dad from Family Matters.
yeah, is that him?
Yeah, that's the helper cop. That's the
Okay.
outside cop who's
Yes.
talking to John
Okay,
on the phone and through the radio. And anyway, so the question is Die Hard a Christmas movie? And I would like to have some yeses and nos, even if you maybe agree with one, some devil's advocate.
yeah.
So Adam, what do you think?
Well, you guys didn't know this about me, but I bet I've only seen 50 movies in my entire life. So I might not be the best person to talk about this, but I have seen, like reels or whatever
Yeah.
online.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing says Christmas to me like Bruce Willis with the machine gun. So
Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm going to go on the record as saying that Die Hard is a Christmas
It's a Christmas
movie.
movie.
Yeah, I think it fits for me.
Okay. What about you, Etch? You think
Well,
it is?
I have to say, depending, I guess we need to know what people's. I guess
We got to define it.
define what a Christmas movie is,
Well,
and I think that's
what's
why it's
your
such
definition?
a. Well,
Yeah,
that's,
what is it?
That's the thing. Is what I was going to get to. Is I think that's why it's such a debatable thing. Is because it does take place during Christmas, during the time of Christmas,
Okay.
but and there's references. There's a few references to Christmas in there, but is it a Christmas movie? Because a lot of people would think of a Christmas movie as like Santa Claus or you know what I mean, like.
Okay, so let's put some of the possible criteria. So the first one, and probably the most basic, you already mentioned, which is happening during Christmas.
Yep.
Okay, and this is where I think a lot of people get kind of, they're like, that's not that. This is where the line gets drawn. Some people think that's all that is required, and others say that just because it happens during Christmas doesn't make it a Christmas movie. So there's other movies that are in this like debate pool, like Gremlins.
Yeah.
There's also any Harry Potter movie where they have Christmas in the middle of
Yep.
it. And so then I think the next criteria would be Santa Claus,
Yeah.
right? Santa Claus is an integral part of most Christmas movies, or if he's in it, it's basically a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
At least the secular Christmas
Yeah.
movie.
Secular
The whole
Christmas.
religious aspect that could also be a Christmas.
You don't
movie.
have to have Santa to have a Christmas movie, but Santa being in a movie very likely makes it a Christmas movie.
I guess
Very likely.
I guess the way I kind of break it down in my head is, does the part of Christmas enhance the plot? Is it part of the plot?
Sure.
If
That's
it's
that's like
if
point
it's-
number 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if it's just pictured in there and it's not really a part of the plot, it doesn't really have a whole lot to do with what's going on, then
Yeah.
I'd probably consider it not a Christmas movie.
Okay.
But
So like Harry Potter, based off of that, is not a Christmas movie.
No, because
Christmas happens.
yeah,
It kind of advances the storyline a little,
exactly.
but that could have happened at any other time. And
Yeah.
if
Which
they skipped
they-
it, it probably wouldn't even be a big deal.
Yeah.
Other than he gets the cloak for Christmas.
he gets the cloak for
and
Christmas.
that's basically the. So what's up, Adam?
Let me ask you guys a serious question.
Mm-hmm.
Is Christmas shittier, for lack of a better word? Is Christmas shittier if a terrorist event happens in context of it?
So I was like, "Where's he going with
Yeah,
this?"
no.
Okay.
So, I mean, I feel like that could be an important part of this conversation is like, you know, if a terrorist event happens on a random Wednesday, that's a bad Wednesday.
yeah.
But I think that it is exponentially more horrible if it happens on a Wednesday that is like a Christmas.
yeah,
Yeah. Here's an
I feel you there.
here's another, and maybe I might be misremembering this, but let's look at a different movie that happens on a different holiday.
Yeah,
At least I think. So the movie Independence Day, is that supposed to take place during American Independence Day, July 4th? I don't
Yeah,
recall.
it starts on July 2nd, then you go to July 3rd, and then
Okay.
the counterattack is on July 4th.
Okay.
Yep.
So
that's part of the plot.
So the question is Independence Day, the movie, a 4th of July movie? Or
Yes.
okay, you say it is, but it doesn't,
According to that definition.
using that logic of that it happens on Independence Day, but it's not in the sense of like what Independence Day is supposed to be celebrated. It's supposed to be like us recognizing an event in the past where we were liberated from Britain.
yeah,
And this is a movie about us fighting aliens. It's got a double entendre, right? Because like Independence Day is the day where the holiday we celebrate, but it's also like kind of like a metaphor for us getting our independence from the alien attack that was impending.
well, they're both aliens if you think about it. It was aliens that attack. I mean, if it's a foreign land thing, you know what I mean? Like, just consider like any foreign person that comes to America is
Yeah.
considered an alien,
Yeah.
right? So it's aliens versus aliens.
I like
mean,
this.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
So go ahead.
But
What do you think?
No, I got one more thing to say. real
Okay,
quick.
go ahead.
You're talking about this or Independence Day possibly being like a 4th of July movie.
Is
right?
it a 4th of July
Well,
movie?
look,
I don't know if
listen,
it is.
I don't think anybody gives a damn about what type of movie it is besides a Christmas movie. Like, do you ever go around? I'm like, let's watch a good Easter movie on Easter this year.
There's not a lot of those.
Yeah, or let's watch a good Memorial Day movie on Memorial Day, which that's a bad example because there's a lot of good Memorial Day movies. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
I just feel like
Memorial Day
Christmas-
would be like you'd watch like a war movie.
Well, that's what I'm
probably.
saying.
Yeah.
That's a bad example. Okay,
Okay.
you don't have to call me out on it.
Well, I'm
just
gonna.
saying. I'm
Okay.
just saying though. I feel like when people think about types of movies, they only think, "Oh, is this a Christmas?" I mean, there's all kinds of types, but as far as like holidays, people really. I don't know anybody that's like, "Man, let's watch a good Thanksgiving movie this year."
Okay.
So I
But-
feel like the holiday has a
but-
lot to do with that.
I get where you're going, but there's also like Valentine's Day movies. There's
Oh, come on.
romance movies,
Yeah.
Hallmark, but then there's ones where
Hallmark.
are specifically Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
And there's ones that are specifically on Hallmark Christmas.
I'm glad. Well,
and it has
Hallmark
to do with the setting.
Yes,
right?
I got you.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
Valentine's Day is a good. I'm glad I didn't bring that up. That would have been a terrible. There's all kinds of dude. There's probably 400 Hallmark Valentine's movies,
And
Okay.
they all have the same story as the
and
Christmas
the 7
movies.
same actors.
Yeah.
So let's go back to our Christmas criteria.
Yeah.
Christmas movie
Yep,
criteria.
Yep.
Happens during Christmas, possibly has Santa. Christmas is integral to the plot of the movie. Are there any others?
I have another one to
Yeah.
propose.
Yeah.
They tend to have something to do with family,
Okay.
right?
Or
Family.
good morals, maybe.
It could be the love and joy of family,
Or
or the
giving, right?
loneliness and disappointment of family, the dysfunction of
Yeah.
family, giving.
Oh well,
things,
yeah.
right?
Like you say dysfunction. National Lampoon's Christmas. That's a Christmas movie, and that's nothing but dysfunction.
Well, that one's got Christmas in its name, even.
yeah.
So-
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that's if you think about it. not like you're talking about just different types. Well, that's definitely a dysfunctional Christmas movie.
Sure.
Yeah, I think the concept of family,
Yep.
or maybe if that's one on its own, I think an additional one would be like morals, right?
Yeah.
A lot of movies are trying to teach us things. I think of like a Christmas Carol, the story of A Christmas Carol. You've got this guy who loves money and basically just shuns and will do anything for it, and then has a realization that that's not the spirit of the holiday. It's not the spirit of what we should be in. We should be giving and caring for people. So like that sort of thing. And then like It's a Wonderful Life, kind of another one where you've got this guy who has all these like things that just series of bad events that continue to happen to him, and he thinks, nothing good's gonna happen. Then an angel shows him all the good he's actually done, and he changes his ways, right? Sorry if I'm spoiling any movies here. I have seen It's a Wonderful Life.
Well,
That's another one.
I mean,
of those
most of these movies are. If you haven't watched them by now, you like our good buddy here, Adam. He's not a big movie guy.
Yeah,
You're
he's
probably
not,
not a
yeah.
good. You're not a big movie person.
So it's really weird because I was thinking about, like, I actually have seen a pretty fair amount of Christmas movies
Yeah.
for a guy that doesn't really watch
Well,
movies.
I feel like that makes sense because I feel like, to me personally, and this is probably all personal, like everyone's different, but I feel like Christmas time is a time when you're getting with a lot of family members that maybe you haven't
Sure.
seen, and I know my wife, like her and my daughter, they'll sit down and watch movies, Christmas movies. So I feel like Christmas is a holiday where you sit down as a family or whatever, your friends, and you just watch movies. Like I feel like that's a movie time of the year, kind of.
Sure. So we've defined, I think, 5 things. Happens on Christmas. Santa Claus is involved. Christmas is integral to the plot of the story. Family is usually involved, and maybe like a moral.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we have these 5, if we can check 3 of those boxes, can we consider it a Christmas movie?
Yeah, that's more than 50%. You're
think we
definitely
can.
swinging.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah,
Okay.
it works for me.
So
Got to check all 5.
You got to check all 5?
You wanted the devil's advocate. You got to check all 5.
You know what? I mean, he does have a point because
A Christmas Carol doesn't have Santa Claus in it. You can't say
It doesn't have to. Was one of them absolutely has to have Santa Claus?
no. I'm just saying.
It has the ghost of Christmas past.
It's got Christmas ghosts.
It was that if it had Santa, it likely would be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's. I'm just saying that
Okay,
if you have.
I see what you. So
So I feel like that
so
could
it
be
has to have a. Can I broaden your Santa?
Sure.
It has to have a distinctly Christmas personality.
aura,
So the
personality,
ghosts
aura. Yes.
of Christmas, past, present, and future.
Sure. Those
Yeah.
are
That
okay.
would be
Saint Nick, something like
Right.
that sort of thing. Okay, I got you. All right. So we can check the first one off for Die Hard. It happens during Christmas.
Yep.
sure.
Okay. Doesn't have any sort of Christmas spirit, so ain't nothing there.
Yep.
I'm going to jump to the family one because he's trying to visit his wife and save his marriage. So he's got that.
Oh, that's considered family.
It's a
I'm just joking, dude. I'm just joking.
Etch.
I'm just joking.
And then, okay, so what did we have left? It didn't have Santa.
Plot. I
Plot.
think that's, to me personally, real quick, I think that's one of the most important parts of the 5 is the
Yeah.
plot. If it doesn't enhance the plot at all, then I feel like that's a big red
Then
flag.
what's the okay? So in that movie, they're having a Christmas party.
But does that enhance the plot of this at all? It's about
It could be literally any party, technically, but they chose Christmas.
you want to know why they chose Christmas?
Why?
I have no idea. I just want to know if you know that.
Because, like I said earlier, a terrorist event on Christmas would make for probably the worst Christmas of your life.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess I hate to be this guy, but I guess if you look at it like that, then it kind of is part of the. If I don't know, we can't get in the writer's heads, right? But if that's what they're thinking, they're like, hey, we want this terrorist attack to happen in this movie. When is the worst time for it to happen? Right?
Because
All
it's
right, all right.
supposed to be
that is
about
kind of a plot of Christmas. They're
peace on
thinking
earth,
about it. Yeah.
goodwill towards
Yeah.
men, and
Yeah.
you got these people that just want to
So
ruin
I-
everything.
So let me ask this: does the whole story of Die Hard I will argue could happen outside of Christmas and it would still work.
Yeah, it would be the same movie.
Okay. But do the scenes change? Are they enhanced in some way or unique in some way because Christmas happens?
And I think that's what he's saying, and I think it does matter. I think that makes it worse. Like you said, a terrorist attack any day of the week sucks, right? But if it happens on like Christmas, that makes it suck even more.
Why?
Because it's Christmas, man. It's like it's a holiday. Everybody's
Christmas makes it suck because it's Christmas.
Honestly,
Well,
it
no.
just
That's the
happened.
most circular argument I've ever heard.
Listen, no. To me, and it's all speculative. Everyone's different, but to me, I'm more cheery during Christmas time. It doesn't matter if I have a $10,000 or $1 during Christmas time. I'm different. And now, if I had the same circumstances in January, I'm probably not the same. So for me personally, I'm more of a cheery person. It's a holiday season from Thanksgiving to Christmas time. I'm on cloud 9. You know what I mean?
I thought it was from like October 1st to February. Sorry, that's the stores, not real life.
So I'll kind of like talk about it in the sense of like what happens. What happens if like have you? I God forbid anything happened, but if you lost a loved one on a holiday, that pretty much for the rest of your life will impact how you view that holiday.
Yes.
Because it was something that happened and you remember it on that day.
Yep.
So I guess that's kind of what I'm going with what Etch is saying is like, if it happens on any day other than, it still sucks. But happening on a holiday, now every time, if you were affected by that terrorist attack on that holiday, you're going to remember it. It's going to make that day harder. And that's what I think he means by it.
And real quick,
sucks
Kyle, I hope you're being devil's advocate because I figure you'd be the
I'm-
guy.
He is.
I'm 100 being
I was going to say, because I feel like
If
you'd be
you
the
wanna
one
know-
guy, man.
If you want to know my final verdict on this when we're done, I'll tell you.
Okay, cool. That's good. You're doing real good at devil's advocate.
He's
'cause
very good
You're
at
making
that,
me
by
want
the
to
way.
That's
cry.
why Joel
over it.
asked
Yeah.
you guys first because he knew I'd jump in. As
Yes.
Well, I was
devil's
going
advocate.
to, but I think you're doing a better job than I
Okay,
ever would.
so have we determined if Die Hard
Well-
checks the box of Christmas is integral to the plot of the story?
I mean, at first I did not think so, but if you go about it on Adam's thought process is like if they thought about it as when we're making this movie, this is going to make it even worse as a terrorist attack. I feel like they thought about Christmas, then that has to kind of be part of the plot.
I think that they would like most companies when they throw company parties, Christmas or holidays are probably the number one type of party that a company would have, right?
Yeah, a lot of
Not
them
that they
have
don't have
any-
other
yeah.
ones,
A lot of
but
them
that's
don't,
something
though.
that is
Yeah.
a pretty typical thing. So that would be something that would be like, how would the terrorist organization know? Like, we're gonna get them on this specific time frame.
You're thinking it could be just a random event that
How,
happened and
if
it happened
was
to happen on
somebody's
Christmas.
birthday in the middle of April, how are the terrorists going to know that? I mean, maybe they could. I'm
Well,
not saying they couldn't,
yeah.
but I'm saying that it's more likely that they would probably know that this company
It's
is
throwing
having a
party.
Christmas party.
Gotcha.
Because it's on Christmas or
And they
around
usually
Christmas.
always I mean, these big companies, I know it's different now. Social media, it's a lot easier. But back then, like a lot of these big companies, like everyone will know because of word of mouth or whatever. Hey, there's a Christmas party because usually families
Could be,
invited.
yeah.
So maybe they did know. They're like, hey, this is the time to get all the big wigs at one time.
Yeah, there's some diehard
Dieharders.
fans that are going to be listening to this, going like, "These guys are idiots." Okay, so maybe I'm voting that
Okay,
Christmas
before
is,
you vote.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's
Okay,
got something to say.
Before you vote.
All right.
He's gonna persuade
So,
you.
okay, you're talking about this terrorist attack happens. It's at Christmas. That makes it harder because it's at Christmas. That's the basic idea, right?
Right.
I think so. I just want to point out too that it just happened yesterday, right? There was today or yesterday there was a Christmas market in Germany,
Yeah, that did happen.
and a terrorist drove their car through the Christmas market and killed like a handful of people, right? And so on social media right now, the outrage is almost every post that I read was like, who does this at Christmas time, right? Because Christmas is supposed to be like peace on earth and goodwill towards men and, thinking about maybe the broader themes of life or whatever. So my vote is settled, but
Okay.
All right.
carry
go
on.
ahead.
I'm
Okay.
really anxious to hear what you have to say.
Okay. So that all happens, and that's fine, and it makes it worse. I'll grant people who are impacted will feel a greater impact if it happens on Christmas. But to everyone else watching it later, to the viewer, it doesn't impact me anymore that this terrorist thing happened at Christmas. What about me as the viewer watching this terrorist thing happen makes me think this is a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
So you're trying, I appreciate you trying to put yourself in the shoes of the people, the characters, but we're asking for us as the viewer.
watcher.
Is this a Christmas movie?
Yep.
And I'm going to say that because all of this can happen outside of Christmas, they could have had a party, an Independence Day party, and it could have still happened, right? That the Christmas is incidental but not required for the plot.
I think that's an important criteria that we should add to the list. Do people watch it during the Christmas season exclusively?
Well, I think depending on who you are, I think there are people who
That's a good call out.
I think you got about 50% of the world who probably watches it because of the debate and just does it because, hey, this is a Christmas movie. And
they
then
hear about it.
And then you got others who don't because they're like, this isn't a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So here's another. I'm going to give you a quick comparison and tell me if I'm off base on
I
this
will
one,
definitely
too.
do it.
I have read online people comparing Die Hard to Home Alone. Okay, and they'll draw the. You're shaking your head, but just let me see if I can find it.
All right.
Because it begs a potential like, hold
I
on
feel like
here.
Home Alone's one of those we can dang near check all 5 boxes though, and with no debate. I feel like. What do you think, Kyle? Why he's finding this? We're talking about Home Alone because I was going to actually talk about that later, which I still am. But
All right,
So you want my real opinion or am I playing devil's advocate?
I want your real opinion on it real quick, and then you can play devil's advocate later.
Well, it doesn't work as well if you know what I think.
Oh well, then we'll wait. We'll hold on to that thought because I'm actually going to bring that movie up later, so we'll just hold on to that.
Well, it'll be harder for me to play devil's advocate because I very much think that it's a clear-cut Christmas movie.
Same here.
So,
Same here. That was actually
where Die
I don't want
Hard-
to spoil alert, but
where
yeah.
Die Hard is easily debatable, regardless of where you fall on it.
Yeah.
I think everyone can understand where the debate comes from.
okay, Home Alone. Let's take Christmas out of the equation. The family is going on a vacation.
Mhm.
They leave their kid home during or at the beginning, and they're trying to get back.
They're going on what kind of vacation? A vacation for what purpose?
A Christmas,
It's a
vacation.
Okay.
But again, it doesn't matter. If you're saying a Christmas vacation, a Christmas party, if you take Christmas out of the way, it doesn't matter, right? If you just say it's a vacation, people take vacations outside of Christmas.
Okay.
That's when I take more of my vacations not on Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
if you
not
ta-
everybody's as fortunate
if you take
as you
that,
are.
if you take that out of the equation and you just have a kid who's home alone
Terrible.
and he's trying to fend off
Pedophiles.
these the wet bandits. I mean,
Pedophiles.
you could. There's probably a stronger Christmas sense to it. I get it, but it's a very similar thing. You've got these terrorists or bad guys who are trying to steal stuff from a place, and there's a lone person who's trying to fend them off, and they happen around Christmas time. But I don't know how to explain this.
No, I know what you're trying to say. You're saying that could happen any other day, and it would be
if
the
your
same.
argument is that
It doesn't enhance the plot's what you're trying to say.
But I get where you're going, but the whole time the family is like, oh, I've got to get back. Where's Kevin?
Yeah.
We forgot him for Christmas.
the
and now
family.
it's
But,
the family.
but John McClane's trying
but
to
it-
save his marriage, which is also a family thing.
But does he keep bringing up that it's Christmas? Like, does it keep coming back that it's Christmas?
Yeah, it's vital. And plus, the old man, dude, you got to think that's a grumpy old man. The time of the season,
the grumpy
he
old
gets
man
more.
is the cop, the extra cop. It's his extra buddy who helps him out at the very
I'm talking
end.
about Home Alone.
No, I know. I'm talking in Home Alone.
Yeah.
The old man is Kevin's like helper, whereas in Die Hard,
I get you, but
Okay.
that old guy is he's like he's not the most cheery guy. We can all agree there. But Christmas, if you notice, towards the end, brings out the cheer in him. Vital to that guy, and that guy's vital to the story.
He's not really cheery the entire. He's not cheery
At the
all.
end, dude, he
No,
went to
he's-
the Christmas play, man. He watched the play.
He went. Yeah.
He didn't want to
This
do
whole
that.
episode is going to be about Die Hard.
This isn't Die Hard.
That's okay. All right. All right. Does anybody have any other fun?
No,
let's-
we're
let's-
about to vote, right? So
Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to vote. All right. All in favor of Die Hard is a Christmas movie, raise your hand. Joel and Adam and Kyle, even though Kyle was the one who was playing devil's advocate. And Etch is shaking his head
I
no.
think Kyle's just trying to please you. You guys just want to go against me.
Did you? I thought you were arguing for it.
I was trying to be both ways. He real quick though, Adam did make me think about a different perspective a little bit, which is part of this, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Jason says no hard movie
Why
on
not?
Christmas. Well, I just my big thing is like I thought, or like I've said, I feel like it doesn't really enhance the plot. It doesn't help the plot. To me, that's like a vital thing. It needs to enhance the plot. You know, it needs to be
The
critical.
spirit of Christmas has to enhance the plot.
Like it has to be more in depth with the plot. Just because you see a couple Christmas trees in Santa and there's a Christmas party, to me doesn't make it a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Because that's it. That's there's Santa and then a Christmas tree, but that's it. Like what else?
So let me give you the what
Snow.
else.
Snow. It's
Let me-
snowing.
Let me give you the what else, and it's for the exact same reason why Home Alone is a Christmas movie to me.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and I found the article that summarizes it well. And there's one paragraph. So Christmas strongly enhances our reaction to the McLean's marital problems because family dysfunction during the season is so relatable. Christmas also does much to lighten the terrorist story. The film treats their successful vault break-in as if they're opening the world's greatest Christmas present, after laboring mightily and entertainingly to unwrap it. The moment is accompanied by Beethoven's Ode to Joy blasting on the soundtrack, a work orchestrated throughout the score. Die Hard is inextricably built around Christmas thanks to its family plot thread, dialogue, music, sound effects, and frequent visual references to tropes of the season. It
Wow.
adds to an overriding tone of cheer and joyousness, even through the story's grand action and suspense.
All right, now do me a favor. Google the other side of that, and you can read. You're going to read a good article why it's not a Christmas movie. Yeah.
All right.
But I don't agree with that article. I agree with
okay.
it.
Okay.
All right, so listeners, decide however you want. The debate is never going to be over, but we're gonna. It's like the pineapple on pizza debate. No, they'll never ever be.
Real quick on that, I
Except
tried that.
pineapple does go on pizza.
It does go
I
on pizza.
dude. Real quick, I didn't think it did. Never wanted to try it. A couple weekends ago, tried it.
You had
Blew my mind. I
It's
want
so
extra
good.
pineapple on my
I
pizza.
know.
right.
I know. Adam, pineapple on pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so
So-
listeners, it's unanimous.
It's just undisputable.
100%
Undisputable.
pineapple
All right.
on pizza.
So moving on, but sticking with holiday movies, and you guys can pick whatever you want. What is your Mount Rushmore of Christmas/holiday movies? And they can be any four, and they're yours, and it doesn't matter. Who wants to go first?
Well, I know what my number one is.
You need four, so you need to be thinking about that.
Okay, Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, Home Alone 3. No, I'm joking.
Home Alone 3.
I'm just joking.
3.
I'm joking.
Okay.
No, okay. Well, I mean, you have to give me a little bit of time, but I definitely know one of them.
I know
That's
my
kind of
I know my
hard.
four. My number one is Home Alone 2. I like Home Alone 1, but if I'm trying to be a little bit more eclectic with my flavor,
Yeah.
it's Home Alone 2, Muppet Christmas Carol, which I know that's got to be on Kyle's top.
It's the number one.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and then It's a Wonderful Life. I feel like you got to have for me, I feel like you have to pay homage to a classic film in this case, because like you're trying to come up with something that's like broad, right?
Yeah.
So Home Alone that's deeply rooted in my nostalgia.
Yep.
That was very popular when all of us were much younger.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Muppet Christmas Carol. And then National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, now that I'm,
Yeah.
I say now, I've had a family for 15, 16 years now, but it's so relatable.
Yeah.
Like just all the elements
That's always
and how
crazy.
goofy it is
Yeah.
and all that. And then It's a Wonderful Life. It's
Yeah.
like you got to get something that hits you in the feels.
Is real quick on the Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
Is that the movie where that kid gets his tongue stuck to the pole? Because
No,
he
that's
licks
a
it?
No.
Christmas Story.
That one's
That one is not as good.
Okay, well I think
mid at
that's
best.
no, and I was just getting them confused.
Yeah.
Well, you did yours real quick. I'll go
Yeah.
ahead and spit off mine. I think my number one, and the reasons you were saying for just nostalgia and stuff, is Home Alone.
Yeah.
I feel like that always touches me.
The,
I do.
the first Home Alone because he said the second.
I said
I'm-
Home Alone too.
I'm gonna lump them. I probably shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna lump them together. I feel like they kind of. I
but
like
they're
them
not.
both.
You can't do that.
All right. Well,
Not
it's
in
the
this-
first
this-
one.
that's the
It's the
rules.
first one.
Okay.
All right. Home Alone 1.
That's not a bad choice.
Number 2 is the first Santa Claus with
Yeah, Tim Allen.
Tim Allen, dude. That was another one that I've always loved. Number 3,
Yeah.
National Lampoons, because
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's the quirkiness. And like it's like, to me, it's like not every like a lot of Christmas movies are like, oh, perfect family, perfect Christmas time. That's more like real life. Like like people's not that it's that extreme, but you know what I mean.
When you tell us your number 4, I've got a story I want to ask you guys about regarding National Lampoons.
Okay, and then my number 4 one is, what's the one with Scrooge?
Well, there's
a
many.
Christmas
Carol.
Christmas
The
Carol,
Christmas
but
Carol.
There's
There's lots of
50,
them.
50 different versions.
Well, I mean, I guess the
It's a-
one cartoon one when we were kids is the one that comes to mind. I don't know.
There's
if-
more than one. even.
I know. I don't remember.
I like the old school black and white one. Have you
Oh,
ever
okay,
seen
Yeah,
that?
I don't
old
know if it's
school
that
ones.
old. So, like Adam said, he's the elder. It's probably not that old, but no, man, I'll have to look it up. But I was unprepared for that. But yeah, it's the one when I remember being like a kid. So it'd probably been one made in like maybe the 80s or not. It could have even been the 70s. I just remember when I was a
Yeah.
kid, there was a certain cartoon one that was always on TV growing up, and that would be the one I'll have
Okay.
to figure out. But yeah, I think that's my number 4.
Okay. So I want to ask you guys a quick question here. So when we were younger, we'd watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, okay? Now we're all dudes here, and I think maybe you know where I'm going with this. There's a scene where Clark's looking out the window and he's imagining his pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then that girl who was trying to sell the lingerie in the mall shows up, she's on the diving board, and then she flicks off her bathing suit.
Oh yeah,
How many of you were like, "Oh, please show me a naked woman. Please,
Oh, yeah. Well,
let me
first
see that
off, we
girl
were
naked."
young when we first watched that, so yeah.
Yeah.
As a kid, I wanted to see anything naked on a woman.
Well, still to this day, nothing really gets me in the Christmas spirit like infidelity.
So machine guns and infidelity.
Man, I feel like I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. A
Oh,
stripper with the machine gun.
Anyway,
Merry
I just
Christmas, dude.
I just always thought that, like, I was like, man,
Yeah.
I wanted to see boobies a lot
Yeah.
when I was a kid.
Well,
you
I
know?
think you're right. We're all dudes in here, and most dudes, I think, dude, once you get to like junior high, dude,
Yeah.
that's all, dude. That's the first. I think that's the first fantasy is for a kid is just boobs. Like, I just want to see some boobs.
that's because it's puberty.
Yeah. Well, I was
Puberty
more of
hits
an
and we
ass
actually-
man, so I wanted to see a nice booty. But to each his own.
Fair. All right. So, what about you, Adam? Do you have 4 Christmas movies?
Yeah, it's weird because I think I said earlier, I haven't watched a lot of movies
Right.
in my life. I don't know. Usually when I have time to just sit down, I kind of go to music, but I have seen a lot of Christmas music or Christmas movies, and I think that criteria for Christmas movies that we didn't discuss before is like, do you watch them over and over during the Christmas season, right? There's got to be a Christmas sentiment attached, and so that's how I determine what my 4 are. So for me, number 4 is the Christmas Vacation,
Okay.
because whenever I went to high school, every year in PE, I had Coach O'Boyle. I don't know if he was there when you guys were there. Awesome guy, but he would play National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation like the hour or two, before we went on Christmas break.
Yeah.
And so there's just a lot of sentiment that's attached for me, and I'm a humor guy.
Yeah.
I like humor. So that's number 4 for me. I think number 3 would be the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer,
The
like
claymation
yeah,
from the 60s.
right.
Classic.
Right. Yeah. I think pretty much I've watched at least some of that every year since I was a little boy. So I like that a lot. And then I guess number 2 would be A Christmas Story. And so in Christmas season of 1987,
Yeah.
I was hospitalized for several weeks.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, it sucked. And I remember just flipping through, the just trying to find something to watch or whatever in the hospital.
Yeah.
And I'd never seen that movie before, and it came on, and it just drew me in. And I think that there was like an hour or an hour and a half. Like, obviously, I didn't catch the movie right at the beginning, but there was a
Right.
short period of time where, like, I had totally forgotten that I was in the hospital or whatever. It really just, it like was an escape for me. So I have a lot of fond memories about that. And then my number 1 will surprise you guys. I'm going to say that maybe even you've never seen this movie, but I would encourage everyone listening to find this Christmas movie and watch it. But a year or 2 ago, they made a sequel to A Christmas Story where Ralphie goes back to...
He's an adult.
Yeah,
And they got the real actor. I've seen it,
yeah, I loved that movie, and I don't know if it was because I just liked the first one so much or whatever, and it just felt like an update or whatever. But I really enjoyed that particular Christmas movie, and maybe it's just because it's the one that I've most recently seen.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not as good as I think it is, but it's been a really long time since I saw a new Christmas movie that I actually like really enjoyed, that kind of drew me in. That definitely did. So that's number 1 for me.
Okay.
Is that weird?
No,
No.
it's not weird at all.
It's your 4.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
So it is weird because I'm probably a little weird.
I was
But
gonna say
yeah.
if something coming from a weird person is weird, then yeah, it's weird. No, I'm joking.
oh yeah, for sure.
No, that's good.
What about you, Kyle?
I like the different tastes we have. We have different flavors. Well, me and you
are very
I
similar.
know. Shut up.
Finally.
Well, that
All right, go ahead. All right, go ahead, Kyle.
I hate to make this observation after such a touching story about A Christmas Story, but to me, A Christmas Story is the Napoleon Dynamite of Christmas movies.
Oh man, I wouldn't
Right.
go that
But-
far.
but-
Shots
No.
fired.
No.
But listen,
Really?
No, I'll
Really?
take that. I'll take it because when that drew me in, I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it was perfect, right? Like my
Perfect
parents
for
would
you.
always try to get me to watch Christmas movies that like had some like moral attached to it
Yeah.
or something like that, right? But here, I'm watching it. I'm like 11, so totally juvenile, but I'll take it. I like it. I agree with that.
I mean it in the best possible way.
Yeah. Yeah.
For you, I mostly said it to get Joel to react, and he
The
did.
Napoleon Dynamite. Oh my god, dude. Napoleon
What's wrong
Dynamite.
with Napoleon Dynamite anyway?
It-
I find
nothing. It's a great
It's
cinema.
extremely dull.
You don't get it. It's not your type of
I-
humor.
Get it? It's just not funny.
Oh my god.
Are you talking about Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes.
Oh, it's a terrible movie.
What?
I love it too.
Really?
You
love
two
it
are
too.
never ever being on this show again.
I
I'm
love it
sorry,
too.
dude.
That-
I just don't.
that
I
is
legitimately
awful.
don't get it. At like, there's what the hell's the movie about?
And that's the
Like, tell me what it's about, please.
It's
and
about
maybe
the
I'll
everyday
understand.
life of
No,
of
not
kind of a
everybody
dork.
has a uncle that thinks he can throw the ball 500 yards.
It's
and not everybody
absurd.
puts tater tots in their pocket
because
and
it's
they
a-
take it.
No, it's not because
I used to
it's
put
normal.
nuggets in my pocket.
It's not because it's normal. It's
Nuggets are
because it's absurd. That's why it's
Okay.
funny.
It's just so off the wall.
He said, yes, they say and do the most crazy things, but
They're trying too hard.
But listen, I will argue this. Maybe not everything happens to somebody every day, but you have either experienced or known somebody who acted or did something like people in that movie.
Yeah, I know
Like,
somebody. It's just
who
like
doesn't
Pedro.
have who doesn't have some sort of family member who's a little off the wall or stuck in the past and can't get out of their heyday, right?
Well,
Like,
I might be that
I
guy
was
in
going
my
to say,
family.
if
That
you can't
might-
think of anybody, it's probably,
Probably you.
probably
you.
you, right? Who hasn't tried to get with some like a girl or a dude that was out of their league?
I don't know.
Napoleon tried doing it.
Oh, okay, I got
you know
you.
what? You get where I'm going?
Yeah,
And
but
it's
his
just-
brother wasn't. Dude, he got that big booty girl. You
That's
know?
why it's absurd.
It is
because he's like the smallest, nerdiest
Yeah.
dude, and he got a very like he just got like a girl you just didn't think he was going to get with, and then he just absorbs into that culture, and it's perfect.
All right. Well, I'll tell
right.
you what, Joel. I like
We haven't
it.
even heard his top
Real
four.
quick, I like you so much. I might try to rewatch that movie and hate it at the same time, but it's all right.
Watch it with people.
Make sure you
that will
bring-
enjoy it. Don't
Make-
watch it by yourself.
Make sure you have a nice pillow to lay down on.
I'll have to be.
You're not
drunk.
invited. You can come watch it at my house, though.
Okay.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, you got it on DVD, huh?
I bought it digital so that way I can watch it
Okay.
whenever the heck I want.
You actually bought that movie. That's crazy. Go ahead, Kyle.
All right, number 4. How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Which
the
one?
Cartoon.
The original cartoon.
The original cartoon.
I forgot about
Not that I
one.
have a problem with Jim Carrey's version, but the original cartoon.
Yeah, you're just saying your top 4. The
Yep.
cartoon's
Yeah,
number
yeah.
4.
Number 3, White Christmas.
Oh, Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby's White Christmas.
Classic. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, the psychological It's a Wonderful Life.
The psychological It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
What do you
that-
mean by that?
It's all about this guy's dealing with his own mental
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah.
It's not cheerful. I mean,
Oh, I
it's
got you.
depre-
I got
it
you.
is.
It's meant to be sad for a good
Yeah.
chunk of the movie, but
Yeah.
then it has such a great ending. It's supposed to
get
be
you-
uplifting.
I've never seen it.
Speaking of morals, it's actually got
watch
the
it?
moral at the end written on the screen. No one is. The moral is. Do you mind the spoiler?
No.
The moral is, no man is richer than those who have friends, right? So he thinks he thinks he's got to commit suicide because bad things have happened to him, outside of his control mostly, and so he's ready to end it. And then the angel comes and shows him what the world would be like if he wasn't in it, and all the people he loves would have been in much worse place. And then he gets a second chance, and then the thing that was bad that was happening, all of his friends come around and rescue him from the problem and shows the value.
I mean, I appreciate you sharing that. It doesn't sound as good as Napoleon Dynamite, but I'm probably gonna watch
Oh,
it.
It's
man.
almost as good as Napoleon Dynamite. It's almost as good.
I watch it every season.
No,
So that
it-
was the
it sounds
second.
Great.
That was your
Real,
second.
real qu-
No, let him finish.
And number 1 has to be and will always be, it's the Muppet Christmas Carol.
The
which
full
is
version, right?
the
The one
full-
with the sad song.
of course, yeah, absolutely.
Because if you go to Disney Plus,
Then they cut out the best song in the whole.
you can find the extended version.
Why
know.
would they have cut that out?
'cause
because
it's-
people thought it was too sad, and they're trying to take this Christmas Carol and turning it into something happy and joyful when the original is basically a horror movie.
So Disney thought it was too sad. The place that's like raping young children thought that song was too
Whoa.
sad.
Hold on.
This just went dark.
That went real dark, real fast. All
Well,
right, so
okay, I don't want to be the speculative
Let's-
person here, but
let's-
hey,
let's-
Disney's not the best, most cheerful place to ever be. All right,
Maybe
let's just
not.
say that.
But yeah, it's what Kyle said with the
Just
so-
sad. They're just trying to be more uplifting, I guess. And
Well, maybe, but I'm going to argue that some of my favorite childhood movies have had sad or traumatic scenes. Think about Neverending Story.
Yep.
Okay, when Atreyu loses his horse,
yeah,
dude, I breaks my
Lion
heart.
King.
Lion King. Yeah, when Mufasa dies.
That was the first time I died watching a movie or cried watching a movie as a
Right.
kid. I remember when he dies, and that scarred me.
Like I understand sadness
No
is,
pun there.
is a feeling that we try to avoid.
Yeah.
But in the sense of storytelling, and Up is another
Oh,
movie.
dude, I love that movie.
Right at the beginning, they
Yeah.
get you with it.
Yeah.
But when you have that low point, it makes the high point
Better.
much more rewarding
Yes, I agree.
at the end. And
I
so
agree.
I think that we shouldn't sanitize movies that are trying to, get you in the feels a little bit or whatever. Like you're supposed to some of the best movies induce
Yeah.
strong emotions,
Well-
whether it's happiness, anger, sadness,
Yep.
whatever, right? Like
It's kind of
Well-
like music, right? Like I feel
Yeah.
like art should be a container for you to be able to place feelings
Yeah.
and
Yep.
thoughts, like process things or whatever. So that makes sense to me.
And I mean, and also life, I don't know about you guys, but life ain't always like not everything in life always
Right.
is positive and
What are
always
you,
good.
what are you
and
preaching whenever you only watch positive stuff?
yeah, and that's the thing. Real quick, I ain't trying to get on a tangent, but like that's why I think Roseanne back in the day was such a good show because
It
they like
was.
lost their power. Like they weren't rich. Like most like TV shows are like, we live in a 3-story house and you
Yeah.
know we don't ever have to worry about money like that. Like most of America doesn't live like that, or you know they haven't. So like that, just have a show that like relates. That's more relatable to most people. It's like, you know, going home and hey, tonight, hey, we're just eating pasta and sauce. You know, there's no meat in it. You know, we're gonna drink water. We got milk. We ain't got soda. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Roseanne was a great show.
I know,
Yeah,
I know.
too.
Yeah,
I really agree
and I
with you
think
on that.
that's why it was so popular because it was so relatable to most of the people. It's like that's us. That's how we live life. You
Yeah.
know?
I think that's why that whole era of sitcoms was some of the best TV that was
Sure.
out there.
Yep.
A
Sure.
lot of what comes out, not that they're all bad, but a lot of what comes out these days are unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, and I feel like that's what's bad about as a guy trying to stream. But when you watch people who like all they do is they just flaunt their like I feel like us as people, we watch people who have like nice things more than just like why don't you like work hard and get those nice things for yourself instead of watching some dude who has the nice things, you know? We're just so easy to just watch people have it. Well, I ain't that kind of dude. I kind of want those things for myself. You know what I mean?
You're
It's like
going,
people watching people play video games or something on Twitch.
Well,
and they could've
we
just
want
gone
to
and
do
played-
that because hey, that's how I'm going to get to where I need to get to. Hey, Etch 12,
so,
Twitch,
So,
follow.
so you're going down a bit of a rabbit hole.
I'm sorry. Hey, we can get back on
it's
it.
okay. I'm going to talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
We've got a little bit of time. So what I'm hearing you say is that the a lot of media, when it comes to shows, YouTubers, you know, TikTokers,
Yeah.
those types of things, what we see as consumers of some of the most popular people, they're either displaying in not always, but in a lot of cases, extravagant lifestyles, expensive property, things like that, and that's maybe like painting this. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like it's not realistic. It's not like if you think about what a middle class person. By the way, everybody in the world has a different definition of what middle class is.
Yeah.
My definition of middle class, I think I fit in the probably lower middle class, maybe closer
But
to middle class.
You're just gauging that off of the American experience. Like last night,
Yeah.
I watched this show about people who live in South Sudan.
Yeah.
And there's like, you know, I mean, there's people that have to like keep their cow in their house
Yeah.
because it's such an important asset to
Yep.
them that
Sure.
people will come and raid it or whatever. And I think that like, I don't know, I like making up statistics. So like, I think
let's not start
think
doing
it's
that.
70% of the world lives on $2 a day or less. So actually, we're all in this room. We're all
right, yeah.
filthy freaking rich. We just don't know it.
Compared to,
a good
well,
way
I
to
feel
look
like
at
a
it,
lot
though.
of people definitely live outside their means. So if everybody was to live within their means, I feel like we would all be. But what circle around. What my point
Yeah.
is, watching things like that make it a lot easier to try to live outside your means because you see, oh, this guy's
Yep,
got that,
and
this
that's the
guy's got
point.
that, this guy. So then you're like, well, I need that to be that.
I was getting ready to say that. I think everything that is like a mainstream culture or mainstream culture adjacent, they want to sanitize things
Mhm.
because it influences. It's just always, I feel like, a generic representation of like kind of what is happening. I think there's like a real cultural push to sanitize everything right now. So it doesn't surprise me that Disney did that because it's like we all want, you know, I mean, think about all the people that you know on Facebook. Like I won't drop names or whatever, or any social media platform. You know, people are like trying to front like they're super mom or that they,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I just think there's like a real cultural push to sanitize, but that also usually
Or only
makes
show
things
the
more
positive
generic.
things.
Yeah.
Look at
Right.
look at my perfect family.
Right.
Look at this awesome thing that I did.
Yeah.
Is yeah, and
So,
yeah.
so I don't disagree with that, but I just think if you take the cause back one more step, it's all about chasing dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Right?
Yep.
So the reason, because I was so mad when they did this, took out that one song. When I first watched it again on Disney Plus, and it's
Yeah.
like, where's that song? And they did it because they were getting feedback from parents that they weren't letting their kids watch it,
And they would if they took that
and they
song
would if
out,
they
yeah.
took that song out. So it was a financial decision.
Well,
Yeah.
most
Right?
we can
For
agree.
sure.
Most things on that kind of level are always financial. Like usually when people are making decisions like that, it's not because they're like, "Well, we want to just be better for the world or we want to be more moral." It's because it's hurting their pocketbook.
I think it
That enhance which
very, very, very often
and also real quick, it's like
has an element of
I
money.
get it at some point because like if you're running a business and you have here's the way I look at it, and I know not everybody does, but if I was running a business and I had people that I was employed, like I had people who work for me,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to have to fire a guy because I let some song stay on there too long. You know what I mean? Like to me, that's if I'm going to keep my people employed, and I'm not saying it's that serious for these guys because it's they're making a lot of money, but the way I look at it is in a moral way. It's like, okay, if I can make one little decision and I don't have to lay anybody off because that decision makes us money, like that's part of business, regardless if we want to.
That's a great way to look at it. too.
That
A great-
and I know a lot of them people don't, but to me personally, that's how I look at it, and that's kind of the way I try to look at things. And I know it's not always about that, but I wouldn't want to have to lay off 2 people because I let some song stay. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the way I that helps me process some stuff sometimes.
I think what is good though regarding this song and everything, you can find if you go to Disney Plus and you go to that movie
Mhm.
and there's like options like you can play it or whatever. There's like extras. You go to the extras, you can watch the full length version.
Yeah. See, that's nice. So they give you the
so
option.
you can watch it.
Yeah. Okay.
The default version doesn't have it.
Okay.
which
but-
they added after.
Yes.
After
the
Afterwards-
uproar. It's
After
like,
some other
listen, dude.
people, the
Yeah.
other side of the pendulum swung back, right?
That's always how it is, man.
I like to think of it kind of like it's fine if you want to have the main version, but I'll compare it to, and I've never seen these, but the diehard Lord of the Rings fans are like, oh, I don't watch the regular, I watch the extended version,
Yeah.
because they think that's the more pure version of it because
Okay.
it has more. Okay, I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm
chill
Hold
out,
on,
Harry
hold on,
Potter
hold on.
fan.
But what I'm getting at is if you know there's more than one version of it, you can make the choice. Do I watch the original theatrical version or do I watch
Yeah.
the extended version? Because, a new person to the movies or the storyline may be more apt to get into one that's an hour less long than one that's 4 hours long, right?
Yep.
So the power of choice is important.
Yeah, and I think that should be how. Like, I get.
But you have to know that there's a choice.
And they need to make it known, and then also like, you know what? Maybe for some families, listening to that song's not beneficial for them. Hey, to each his own.
I literally
But
watched
it's
it
cool.
the other day, and it wasn't. I remember
I
being
get you.
sad, but I didn't think it was
Yeah.
like
Over the top.
I didn't. It wasn't Artax's
Yeah.
horse dying in the middle of the fucking swamp
That's
of Soros.
100% true.
Yeah.
I just need to make this point on Lord of
Please.
the Rings versus
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
versus Muppets Christmas Carol. What they did with Muppets Christmas Carol is they made a version later that cuts something out.
Right.
With Lord of the Rings, they made a version that added a
Added.
whole lot more.
Yeah.
I think you give something to someone and you take it away, that feels
Different.
different than
Yes.
you give them another option and you can have even
That's
more.
fair.
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
not gonna say that. Well, but there's more than one version, and knowing
And you can have
having
your
the
options.
choice.
Yeah.
No, that
Is
part I
really-
totally agree
yeah.
with you.
I
just
like
think,
that.
I just think that taking something away and calling it the normal, like
Yeah.
this is the new normal because we took this thing away,
Yeah.
that's not right. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I almost canceled my Disney Plus subscription for that.
I'm just
Really?
tired.
No.
I'm just tired of like corporate, like suits trying to sanitize everything for me.
Yeah.
I've had my fill of that, but that's not really Christmassy, so I digress.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're gonna summarize here. We're actually about an
What about
hour.
your 4? Did you say your 4?
I did.
Yeah. He
Oh
started.
yeah.
off.
Okay.
It was Home Alone 2, Muppet Christmas Carol, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and It's a Wonderful Life. Those are my 4.
So was there any overlap in our 4? I don't remember. Did
Jason and I had like 2 or 3, and
We
me,
had 2.
Yeah, we had 2.
We had so figure the old guy.
You were
didn't
the
have
one
any
who had the
overlap in it.
most different. But so I mean, I guess there could be some honorable mentions.
Oh, I was gonna say real quick.
Yeah.
I did forget, and he brought it up. It's a different one, but Jim Carrey. I remember this. Jim Carrey's Grinch was the first movie that I got to watch up in our. Well, it's gonna reopen, but the Globe Theater.
No, it opened up yesterday.
It's open.
Okay, so they just
And I
reopened
watched
the Globe.
it too. I watched it.
I remember they had the
Oh, it's
Oreos, the
open?
Christmas Oreos. Woo!
Yeah, it opened back up yesterday.
Yeah. So
That's
anyway,
cool.
shout out to the Globe Theater if you're around Greenville, Illinois. Check them out. Reasonable prices. It's
Very
gonna be
good
a great.
prices.
No,
gonna
it's
be a great
place to
theater.
see a movie.
But yeah, that was the first. I think the first movie they showed there was The Grinch Stole
It was.
Christmas, and
I
I
wanna
watched
go.
it up there. And ooh, so that to me, Jim Carrey's my favorite actor, comedian, whatever. Jim Carrey's like my favorite.
Yeah.
Living Color, love him. Blah blah blah. His whole career, love the guy. And then The Grinch cartoon. That was when I remember I loved it. But then real life new Grinch, love it.
Okay,
Good
so
movie.
so here's some honorable mentions for movies that maybe we forgot, or you don't have to change them now, but Elf with
Yeah,
Will
that's a
Ferrell,
good one. Yeah.
Jingle All the Way,
Oh yeah.
it's a good one.
Yep.
Scrooged which is another variation of the Christmas
I don't
Carol,
think I've
but
seen one. Yeah.
it's got Bill Murray in it.
Oh okay.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Well, there's the old one, and then there was the remake in the 90s. I like the 90s one.
no.
You like the original one better?
Yes.
Okay. So Frosty the Snowman, the cartoon from the
Yep.
60s.
Frosty. Oh, dude. Damn, man. See, some of these I wasn't even thinking about, but yeah, there's
Right.
a lot of good ones.
Right. I am not a Peanuts fan, but Charlie
it's-
Brown
it's-
Christmas.
Yeah,
It's
that's
good. It's
that's
good.
yeah, that's
It's
iconic.
good?
Yeah.
Are you saying
It's good. It's
No,
good.
No.
Linus. It's all about Linus.
Lionel? Is it Linus or is it
Linus with the blanket.
Oh.
He
Is
gi-
it, isn't it?
he gives
Linus.
the story away. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think we can all agree that the best Christmas movie ever is Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
noticed
don't-
that?
And with that,
Yeah, I
that
don't know
actually,
about all
that
that.
actually didn't hit anyone's list. That was
Yeah.
and because it was too good. We couldn't put it on anybody's
Yeah.
list. All right. Everybody, let's wish everybody a Merry Christmas. 1, 2, 3.
Merry
Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Best forking friend.